I have mounted Starlink Mini on 3 different vans, tested 5 different power setups, and made every mistake you can possibly make on the road. A bad mount that vibrated loose on a dirt road. A power setup that drained my battery dead by 2 a.m. A cable route that let water into my van during a storm. Today I am giving you the complete 2026 guide to Starlink Mini for RVs and van life. The best mounts, the exact power setup that actually works, and every road-tested mistake so you do not have to learn them the hard way. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Tech Review Vault 24. I am your name. Today I am covering Starlink Mini specifically for RVs and van life, which mount actually survives washboard roads, how much solar and battery you really need, the exact cable routing that keeps water out, and the mistakes that cost me money and connectivity so you do not have to repeat them. This is everything I have learned from real miles on the road. Subscribe for a new Starlink video every single week. Let us get into it. Before mounts and power, let us settle which dish to actually use, because this decision shapes everything else in your setup. For most van lifers and RVers, the Starlink Mini is the right choice. EarthSim's 8-month van life testing confirmed it directly. The Mini is small enough to store in a cabinet, light enough to deploy by hand, and draws little enough power to run on a modest solar setup. At 11.4 by 9.8 inches and under 2.5 pounds, the Mini delivers real broadband speeds, 50 to 200 megabits per second download, from virtually anywhere in the US, Canada, and beyond. The standard dish still has its place. If you have a larger RV with permanent wiring and house battery integration, EarthSim's RV-specific guide recommends the standard dish paired with the regional roam plan for stationary use. But for vans, smaller rigs, and anyone who values portability and minimal power draw, the Mini is the default choice for 2026. Here are the 4 real mounting options for 2026, ranked by what actually works on the road. Option 1, the clamp mount. According to Seatmod's 2026 testing, an adjustable clamp mount kit at around $32 bites onto round or rectangular bars from roughly 0.8 to 2 inches in diameter and locks the dish at the correct angle. It works on roof racks and rails you already own, requires no drilling, and is genuinely the cheapest insurance policy for protecting your Mini investment. Option 2, VHB adhesive tape mounts. EarthSims confirms these avoid roof penetration entirely and hold well on clean, flat surfaces. Many RV and van owners prefer this because it sidesteps waterproofing concerns completely. Just a strong adhesive bond. Option 3, magnetic roof mounts. These provide strong magnetic hold with quick removal when needed. The critical limitation: magnetic mounts only work on steel roof vans. They will not hold on fiberglass or aluminum RV roofs, which is most RVs. Know your roof material before buying this option. Option 4, telescopic pole mounts. Lightweight, fast to deploy, and they elevate your Starlink for clearer line of sight when you are parked in a partially obstructed area, surrounded by trees or other vehicles at a campsite. This is your best option when your parking spot has a tricky sky view. For permanent installations in high wind areas, bolt-through mounts with proper sealant, like Dicer self-leveling lap sealant designed for RVs, are the most secure option. But for most van lifers who want flexibility, a clamp mount or VHB adhesive mount covers 90% of use cases. Here is a critical distinction most buyers miss completely, and it matters for both performance and safety. A standard clamp, VHB, or magnetic mount is designed for stationary use. You park, deploy, or power on the dish and it connects. These mounts are not engineered to handle the vibration and wind load of highway driving. Purpose-built vehicle mounts are different. SpaceX's 2026 in-motion aluminum vehicle mount was specifically engineered to handle vibration, wind load, and corrugated roads, not just static campsite setups. This is the category you need if you want internet while actually driving, not just when parked. Using a mount engineered for your specific dish model ensures proper load distribution and stability. A budget clamp mount rated for parked use that gets used at highway speeds risks the dish vibrating loose, shifting angle, or in the worst case, detaching entirely. If your use case is purely deploy when parked, any of the 4 mounts from the previous section work great. If you want connectivity while driving, budget for a purpose-built in-motion mount and confirm it is rated for vehicle use, not just rooftop storage. Power is where most people struggle, And it is the difference between van life that works and van life that is constantly interrupted. Let us start with the actual power draw. According to EarthSim's verified testing, the Starlink Mini draws 25 to 60 watts depending on weather and operational mode, significantly less than the standard dish's 40 to 100 watts. Here is the simple math. With 200 watts of solar and a 100 amp-hour house battery, you can run Starlink Mini all day and still have power left for everything else, even on partly cloudy days, according to Seatmod's 2026 Van Life Guide. For RV-specific stationary setups using the standard dish, EarthSims recommends budgeting 500 to 700 watt-hours per day, with an EcoFlow Delta 2 paired with a 200-watt solar panel covering a full workday off-grid. One critical fact that catches people off guard: Starlink has no internal battery. It needs continuous power. If your power source cuts out even briefly, your connection drops immediately and the dish has to research for satellites when power returns, costing you several more minutes of downtime. For most van lifers starting out, a dedicated power bank built specifically for Starlink Mini, with purpose-built DC output and weatherproofing, is the simplest entry point. It removes the complexity of wiring into your van's main electrical system while you figure out your full off-grid setup. The Mini operates on both 12-volt DC and 110-volt AC according to Black Series' 2026 RV Setup Guide. Choose based on your existing RV electrical setup. Running it on 12 VDC directly from your house battery is more power efficient than running it through an inverter to 110 VAC. Cable routing causes more long-term problems than any other part of a Starlink RV setup, mainly water damage from poor sealing. Here is how to do it right. First, know your cable length limits. The Starlink cable is proprietary. You cannot extend it with standard Ethernet cables or splice it. The standard Gen 2 cable runs 75 feet. The Mini cable runs about 50 feet. Plan your exact cable route from the mounting position to your router location before you install anything. Measure twice. For permanent roof entry, many owners drill a small hole through the roof or sidewall and seal it with a waterproof cable pass-through gland, specifically designed for this purpose, not generic silicone alone. This is the gold standard for keeping water out long-term. If you are not ready to drill, route the cable through an existing roof vent, window gap, or door seal temporarily. This works for shorter trips but is not ideal for full-time van life due to draft and the cable being more exposed to wear. Once inside, secure the cable along interior walls or ceiling using cable clips every 2 to 3 feet. Avoid sharp bends in the cable. They can damage the internal wiring over time and degrade your signal or cause intermittent dropouts. If you want a fully permanent setup, bolt-through mounts paired with proper RV-rated sealant like Dicer self-leveling lap sealant give you the most secure, weatherproof installation for long-term touring. Here is the actual setup process from start to finish, and it genuinely only takes 15 to 30 minutes according to Black Series' 2026 RV Setup Guide. Step 1. Download the Starlink app and use the built-in obstruction checker to find a clear mounting location. Walk around your parking spot if needed to find the clearest sky view. Step 2. Choose your installation location. For RVs, you have 3 primary options. Roof mount gives the best signal quality but requires weatherproof cable routing. Ground deployment using the kickstand offers maximum flexibility for repositioning. A window or door-adjacent setup works for quick stops. Step 3. Mount the dish using whichever option from Section 4 fits your setup, and route the cable following the guidance from Section 7. Avoid sharp bends in the cable that could damage it over time. Step 4. Connect power. Plug into your chosen power source, whether that is 12-volt DC or 110-volt AC depending on your RV's electrical setup and usage patterns. Step 5. Open the Starlink app and follow the alignment tool to position the dish correctly. The app will guide you visually until the dish finds optimal signal. Once connected, the entire process, unbox to online, typically takes 15 to 30 minutes. With practice, experienced van lifers get this down to under 10 minutes at each new campsite. Here are 5 mistakes I made or watched other van lifers make. Learn from these instead of repeating them. Mistake 1. Using a parked use mount for highway driving. A budget clamp mount rated for stationary use vibrated loose on a corrugated dirt road within an hour. If you want connectivity while driving, you need a purpose-built in motion mount, not a campsite mount pressed into service for the highway. Mistake 2. Undersizing your power system. Running Starlink Mini off a small power bank without solar input drained the battery completely by 2 a.m. during a cloudy stretch. Budget at minimum 200 watts of solar and a 100 amp-hour battery for a reliable all-day operation. Mistake 3. Sealing a roof cable entry with generic silicone instead of a proper cable pass-through gland. Water worked its way in during a heavy storm. Use components specifically designed for cable pass-through, not improvised sealing. Mistake 4. Buying a magnetic mount without checking the roof material. Magnetic mounts work great on steel roofs and completely fail on fiberglass or aluminum RV roofs, which describes most RVs on the market. Always confirm your roof material before choosing a magnetic option. Mistake 5. Sharp cable bends during routing. The Starlink cable is sensitive to sharp kinks. A tight bend around a corner caused intermittent signal dropouts that took hours to diagnose before I realized the cable itself was the problem. Always route cables with gentle curves, never sharp angles. Avoid these 5 and your setup will run smoothly from day one. Let me clarify exactly which plan makes sense for RV and van life, because this determines your hardware and monthly cost. According to EarthSim's verified 2026 data, the regional roam plan at $50 a month paired with either the standard dish at $349 or the Mini at $249 is the setup most van lifers should choose. EarthSim's direct quick verdict from 8 months of real-world testing. The Starlink Mini with the regional roam plan at $50 a month is the best setup for most van lifers. It is small enough to store in a cabinet, light enough to deploy by hand, and draws little enough power to run on a modest solar setup. For RVers using a standard dish in a more stationary setup, the same regional roam plan applies. $50 a month for unlimited data anywhere within your region, pausable when not traveling. Total realistic first-year cost for a mini-based van life setup, $249 hardware, plus $50 a month, plus roughly $100 to $150 for a quality clamp or VHB mount. That puts you online and traveling for under $1,000 total in year one, including the dedicated power equipment if you are building a system from scratch. If this guide saves you from making the mistakes I made, hit that like button right now. The van life and RV community shares these tips constantly, and I want this video to actually help people on the road. Subscribe if you have not already, because next week I am covering Starlink in bad weather, rain, snow, and storms, which matters even more when you are off-grid and depending on it for safety and communication. Drop a comment below right now. Tell me, what mount are you using, and what mistake did you make that you wish someone had told you about first? I want to hear real stories from the road. I read every single comment on this channel. See you next week. Safe travels.